Hi, I'm John. Today I'm going to share some handling tips and tricks that I've learned from dealing with the goats on my farm. I'll show the basic behavioral principles of goats and how they can be used to help with low-stress handling on your farm. As you watch this video, remember, these are basic principles. For those of you who have more experience working with goats, treat this video as a review or refresher. For people with less experience, use this video as a base for how to handle your animals in a low-stress way. Obviously, your goats won't always react exactly how I'm going to describe it in this video, but using these techniques will help to reduce overall stress for both you and your herd. So why do we care about low-stress handling? Well, it can lead to reduced stress of both animals and handlers, and contributes to a decrease in illness and injury, as well as improved productivity and quality of meat or milk. It all comes down to understanding the instinctual reactions and natural behavior of the goats. This will allow you to predict and control those reactions so you can use them to your advantage when handling your goats. First off, sometimes people imply that handling goats is just like handling sheep. You can't handle goats like sheep and expect them to react the same way. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Goats are a prey species. Humans are predators. They don't react to situations the same way a human would. Reducing our own aggressive behavior, such as yelling, rapid movement, crowding, or getting too close, minimizes the stress you place on the animals. Goats are very curious and social animals. Because of their prey instinct, they are very prone to herding, though they can be very independent. Handlers must make sure that the goat's independence is its own idea. If a goat is forced to separate from its herd, it will cause it to panic and stress. Goats will move in family groups, led by the dominant female or the flock queen. It is her responsibility to lead the group to food and water and away from any threats. Since the queen instigates most movement, it is important that handlers motivate the queen to get the herd to move. Because the goats will tend to spread out more during grazing, attempts to herd the animals may lead to group scattering, which can make herding goats difficult. When faced with a threat, for example, a handler's attempt to drive them, the goats will scatter and then turn and face the predator. At this point, the goat may be likely to challenge the threat by charging or butting. Because a goat will challenge a predator and not herd and flee, dogs tend to not work as well with goats and only cause the animals more stress. When goats become alarmed, they will stomp their feet and make high-pitched sneezing sounds. Younger goats may freeze at the sight of a threat. By freezing, the predator may pass the goat without noticing it. Threatened goats may also lie down and sulk or pack in a corner, which may cause injury to other goats. Goats are quite intelligent, so positive rewards using food can be very effective to train animals to move through handling systems and across pastures. Due to the tendency to scatter, it may be easier to coax them into following you by using a bucket of grain. Goats have a range of vision of 320 to 360 degrees, which they use to watch for predators while keeping an eye on the rest of the herd. There is only a small blind spot right behind them. Handlers can use this range of vision to aid with movement because visual pressure is the most efficient stimuli to move goats. Using visual pressure to move the goats away from the handler engages their fight or flight reaction by using their flight zone or personal space. In order for the flight zone to work effectively, the handler must be within the animal's line of vision. Goats are fairly difficult to move through handling systems because they do not tend to flow willingly through and will stress quickly. Chutes should only be about 10 feet long because if they get too long, the goats may crowd and trample each other. Facilities should be designed so that there are no holes that goats can go through or over. Goats are capable of climbing trees, so climbing or jumping over a fence is done quite easily by them. If you are able to use fencing designed specifically for goats in your pastures, it may save a headache or two in the future, because nothing tests fences like goats. When introducing goats to new surroundings, like barns, ramps, or trailers, give them time to investigate their surroundings. Giving just a few seconds lets the animal feel safer about the new situation and they will move easier. Patience can benefit the animals and keep stress on both ends down. When working with any type of animal, patience is key. Goats can sense if you are rushing and are more likely to react in a non-cooperative way. If you try to make the animals move faster or run, They are more likely to exhibit panic behaviors, like turning and missing gates, or turning around completely. A good rule to remember is if you have 15 minutes to move them, it will probably take an hour. If you have an hour, it will only take 15 minutes. I'll give a few final tips for handling goats. Remember to use a goat's natural instincts. It's a prey animal, so don't act like a predator by going too far in its flight zone, rushing, or hitting them. Try not to move too many animals at the same time, and control their movement from behind using slow, deliberate movements. Be sure to keep yourself safe when handling the goats as well. Threatened goats, or goats wanting to show dominance, may butt or charge at a handler, so extra caution may need to be taken. Using the tips and behaviors outlined in this video can lead to less stressful experiences when handling your herd. Remember to use the goat's herding and following behaviors to your advantage, and use visual pressure points to stimulate movement. Applying these tips in your barn can help reduce both animal and handler stress and frustration. This will help maintain a low-stress environment on your farm.